So, Chris, Kyrie has a brand new look.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a little bit more outer worldly, if you know what I mean.
We're going to jump right into it so we get what he means.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey everyone, my name is Rico.
My name is Chris.
And welcome to Sneakerweb, where today we're going to be talking about Kyrie's new look. What do you think, Chris?
I think it's definitely a big departure from what he used to put out, but it's also a new step in the direction that I believe that he wants to take.
And what we have is the Anta Shock Wave 5. This is going to be the team shoe that he's going to be playing in this season. This is kind of going to be Anta's test shoe for him to see what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he wants to change, things like that. And Chris, do you want me to get into the tech breakdown first before you talk about the design?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right, so starting off with the bottom of the shoe, we have a dedicated outsole for outside, but it can be used for indoor as well. Basically, it's just a little less pliable than your typical Nike product or Adidas product or anything else that you guys are used to in the US market. And then moving on to the cushion, we have a Nitro Edge Plus, which is a nitrogen-based P-Bax cushion. It's going to last a little bit longer since nitrogen is a little more dense. And getting to the upper, we have a mostly synthetic, actually all synthetic upper with some TPU yarns and some other TPU paneling along the upper with some ventilation holes to let that heat escape. And then you have a gusseted tongue with a sculpted heel in the back for some added comfort for your Achilles and your heel once you're sucked in. And that's just about it. The rest of it is going to be covered in a performance review, which I've already tested this shoe, so you guys are going to see that very shortly.
Yeah, so I think my thoughts on the shoe initially, first glance, the color's nice. I think it's a good color for this shoe. It's a big departure from what Kyrie has put out with Nike, you know, the whole fiasco that went down with that. Him finding a new company in Anta to put out this specific shoe.
I just want to say real quick that this shoe was already made. He's just basically endorsing his new partnership.
So I know this is not his signature, but I do also know that this is kind of his test feel out style shoe to kind of get his feet wet with Anta and to see what he kind of wants to go forward once he does make that new design of his own, which will be his signature that will release around the time of next year. I would say right now, my first initial thoughts, this shoe is very beefy.
Really?
It's a beefy shoe in my opinion.
It does not feel that way, I can reassure you that.
It definitely comes with more of a plastic feel than I would like, personally. If I had to choose between this or maybe even at least the shape-wise, it kind of comes off at least like the first Freak 1 shoes that Giannis put out. So it kind of has that exact kind of feel or shape. But for a shoe that he's kind of getting his feet wet, I do like the carbon fiber. I like the little, cushion that comes with the shoe. I do like that the padding is extra thick on the inside. That does make me feel like the shoe is a lot more secure. Overall, I think the design is kind of a little bit too plasticky for me. Like it just comes off like with a lot of materials, and that a lot of materials, there's nothing wrong with that.
I would like to stop you there real quick. So there are two models of this. Kyrie, even though I did mention that he is going to be playing and endorsing this, there is another model which is called the Shock Wave 5 Pro. I think that's going to be the one that he's going to be testing and really giving a run for their money in that shoe. But this one's still going to be one that he plays with. But yeah, this is the budget model compared to the Pro model, which they have an entirely different outsole. They have a slightly tweaked support system with their torsion and spring plate system. They also have a different upper on the shoe. So there are going to be slight differences, but you are going to pay a pretty penny for the Pro model, at least currently.
Yeah, while I'm not 100% crazy about the silhouette of this shoe, there are some touches that I do enjoy, and one of them being that little stitching on the back there. As you guys can see, it's nice and thick. So I like that percentage. I love that it is nice, neat, no weird lines out of the stitching. It does seem like, though, that it can take impact pretty well, because I do see some impact marks on this shoe. And not too much of a damage there, I can really see from my visuals.
And what I like about Anta, to your point, is that they are very focused on their market, which is a basketball-centric focus. They're not trying to pump out shoes after shoes after shoes. They're trying to give people quality products that they can buy and endure with, because, again, this is a Chinese market first, and their customer demographic is different than our demographic.
Right. And I do feel like overseas, a lot of the shoes like these, when they're with certain basketball players or athletes become attached to a silhouette, the hype is very much different in another country than it would be here, especially in China.
Yes.
And I feel like that the brand itself finds a way to listen more to their athletes, kind of what they want design-wise, so it kind of feels more authentic to the shoe.
Yes.
Not saying that Nike doesn't do that, or Adidas doesn't do that, or any other brand doesn't do that, but I feel like a lot of the times there's more creative capabilities when it comes to shoes that are overseas. Now, I can say that Nike does have a direct competitor with the future of this brand. Now, when it comes to basketball shoes, a lot of people say that Nike's designs can be lacking sometimes. I do feel that way when it came down to, I want to say the new Giannis shoes, the Ja Morants. Like, I feel like a lot of them look exactly the same, and they're going for that low look. And while I do enjoy, lows, I wish Nike would kind of push that a little bit further. I feel like Anta, by giving Kyrie this starting point, it's kind of a good way to see where he goes forward with this brand. And on top of that, you cannot beat that price.
No.
The price for these is insane. Like, if you look at the materials on that,
and what's packed, and technology, and just like Chris is saying, this is in my opinion, I've already tested this, this is a punch above your weight, price per dollar performance shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get into that more. I don't want to give too much away, but I have very much enjoyed playing in these.
I do feel like this colorway, especially, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
It does give
dark
you
matter.
The dark matter style colorway. It's more space themed, more of that dark, but that translucent blue and purple-ish kind of transferring over. I think that's such a beautiful look for a first shoe. Nothing too crazy.
Reminds me of your gaming channel theme.
Yeah, it's purple. Purple and blue. It gives you that subtle look, but at the same time, it's like a low-key charge up to see where Kyrie kind of goes with this shoe, and I think it's a good first impression. Is it for me personally? I would probably have to say no.
Right.
I feel like there are other basketball shoes that would fit kind of to my liking specifically, but I feel like if you're somebody who really is like a hardcore basketball player, somebody who likes to run 4-on-4s and even small shoot arounds, I feel like this shoe would be good for you. It does look like it takes on good high impact. My only thing is, I would say less of the random spotted materials, because they do put materials in a little bit of random places on this shoe, which comes off a little strange to me sometimes. I would like more cohesion with future shoes that do come from Anta. I do think that they have the potential versus just slapping a bunch of things on there. Because it looks like to me that the initial design drawing for this had the idea of where these cutouts would be all along the sides of this shoe. But I also feel like once it was put pen to paper and then printed, it kind of just took away from that for me. I would love to see more of this shinier, glittered material that's all around the forefront, kind of spread around the shoe. I do understand that the openness is kind of to give more breathability.
Yes.
But I would like to see them kind of not press materials in random places. I would like to see it a little bit more cohesive, because then that can feel a little bit cheap to me sometimes. But overall, I do feel like it's a solid shoe. How did it fit for you? Let's talk about the fit.
Ooh, the fit real quick, and then I'm going to bounce one more question off of you. The fit of these, definitely try to go with your Euro size as best as possible, since these are an overseas purchase. But like I mentioned, these are definitely a punch above your weight performance shoe, especially for the price per dollar per performance that you're going to get out of these. But with the fit real quick, I went true to size, which is a size 11, which I believe is a size, is a Euro 45. I personally had my preferred half thumbs with the space, so that way, because I like to have my toes splayed just a little bit. I don't like that super snug one-to-one fit, but if you like that super snug to one-to-one fit, you can go down half a size, but just know that this is plastic material and it's probably not going to break in for a while. Wide footers possibly go up half a size because, again, of that plastic material is not going to break in as, say, leathers or possibly a knit. But with that being said, it's definitely worth getting and definitely worth checking out, especially if this is the direction of Kyrie's. And if you guys enjoy the Kyrie line, this is where you're going to get the quote-unquote new Kyrie stuff. And the question that I have for you, and I think a good one to end on, do you think that now a star-studded athlete like Kyrie is going to bring the Chinese market over to the U.S.?
I think with the right signature form, the right silhouette, I think Kyrie can he can accomplish that. I feel like he's popular enough in name and popular enough in play style that overseas he can actually grow his brand more, I think, than he did with Nike. Because I feel in this case it was never a problem with his creative control or what he wanted out of a shoe. When he didn't like what was put on a specific shoe, he was very well open to Nike to tell them, hey guys, I don't really like this material, let's remove that, let's add this on. Aside from just performance, he also wanted to have a good looking shoe.
Yes.
And I think with the right people, with the right materials, with the right design team, and with Kyrie in mind, I think that he can accomplish probably what most athletes want to accomplish outside of the Chinese market alone.
Absolutely. So, and I do agree with all of those talking points. Absolutely. But
real quick, what is your rating for these?
Let's do 7.5.
7.5? Okay. I was kind of on the same thing. I was kind of close to 7, but I think 7.5 sounds pretty necessary. Why did you give it a 7.5?
I gave it a 7.5 because it does overall still look like the Kyries that we've come to know and love. I do agree that it's a little bit sporadic with the design, but I like the galaxy touches. I like the asymmetrical pull tab on the collar.
That kind of threw me off, I'm not gonna lie. But I've never seen an asymmetrical one before.
So it's so that when you tie these up, it's not chafing against your ankle when you're playing. Because of sweat buildup and all that. But yes, real quick, give yours and then
I would say 7.5. The design is decent, has a long way to go, but I do really enjoy the extra padding, the stitch design on the back. The colorway is really good, but I also feel like there's a lot of work to do when it comes to silhouettes and putting a lot of materials on top of the shoe itself without thinking too much of what the reasoning is behind having it, other than just to kind of fulfill the design portions of the storyboard art that you put down.
Absolutely. And this has been a brand new look, as we said in the beginning, into Kyrie's new journey. I hope that it is a fruitful one, and I'm very happy to see him go with Anta and to possibly push that brand, and also to see what designs he's going to be pushing. But that is everything that we have on the Anta Shock Wave 5. Definitely check it out if you guys are curious, especially if you guys like the Kyrie line and want to follow that. With that being said, make sure you guys also like, subscribe, and comment. Comment on your thoughts on these, and then also subscribe to see the performance review on these coming to you guys shortly.
All right, guys, just remember to wear your shoes and keep on trekking. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Later, guys.